that the backs were able to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and not just the backs in terms of being patient and timing and hitting the right place. I thought more than anything else, just so proud of those guys up front. You know, I mean, they have taken abuse from anyone and everyone in, outside, or around the program for those guys to come and have a really good day against a really good D-line. You know, I mean, to outrush Boston College, knowing what they do offensively, knowing how good they are at running the football, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. And nothing against Boston College, our well-coached team. They do a great job. Coach Dazio has done a great job there. You know, but to do that, I'm just really proud of our kids up front.
Why do you think that the offensive line was able to take that step forward against Boston College?
I think it's just part of, you know, when Coach Taggart really wanted to go back, you know, and really start to minimize scheme and make sure that our kids were just, because again, you know, success and confidence breed success and confidence, you know, and when you can have confidence in what you're doing, because I've done it over and over and over and over again, that carryover from the practice field, you know, to game day, you know, was really big for those guys. And so I just thought they played a lot more confident, you know, just because they were a lot more comfortable with what they were doing. You know, I had some continuity, you know, I kind of had the same group out there for the majority of the game, you know, and so I just think it was that confidence allowed those guys to play fast and do a good job.
Did it help having DeAndre being able to run the ball? It seemed like well, first, was this maybe one of the best performances he's had running the ball? And if so, how much does that
Yeah,
the offense?
you know, I think for him, you know, I mean, you know, he's taken a lot of flack for some of his decisions, but he did a really nice job in terms of his decision making the other day, when to run, when to throw, you know, because a lot of those things, you know, when you see him running, you know, that's people bleeding out the box and giving us a chance to run, kind of package plays together, you know, screen, throw, run, and he did a nice job, you know, and I think that's kind of where, you know, he does a nice job, those called manufactured runs, you know, where he can get a chance to get his pad square and kind of go attack them as opposed to reading them. And so he did a really nice job.
Tamorrion, everyone sees what he can do in the deep ball. What's have you seen from him this year as he's kind of evolved as a receiver?
I think the biggest thing from the time we got here till now is just the confidence that he has in himself, and I think that's what's kind of elevating his game, is he really feels like that nobody can cover him. You know, and on top of that, I think the quarterbacks are starting to feel like nobody else can either. You know, and there's parts of his game he's got to continue to work on, you know, and not that he's a finished product, you know, but the things that we ask him to do right now, he does exceptionally well. You know, I feel like, you know, to be honest with you, everybody remembers Shaquille O'Neal. You know, he'd get beat on and nobody really called very many fouls, just because kind of everybody, he's just a bigger, stronger guy, so people kind of made the excuse that, you know, it really wasn't a foul. I kind of feel like that's what we're dealing with a little bit with Terry right now. You know, I mean, he's a big, strong, fast dude, and really the only way to kind of get on top of him and stop him is to hold him a little bit and grab. And, you know, I think he's done a great job running through some of those, you know. But, you know, as we move forward, you know, you know, hopefully we can, you know, get some of those flags as well. But he's done a really nice job for us.
Yeah, a handful of seniors playing their last home game this week. Just knowing those are guys that had to learn and buy a new system, knowing that they probably weren't going to reap the long-term benefits. I guess, what does that say about them and their attitude and commitment?
Yeah, you know, for me, this week and every time I've been a part of that last game, and you take a look around that room one last time, it's the last meeting that we're going to have. It's the last time this meeting will look the same. You know, I think for me, and one of the things that, and not to bring this back to me, but I think one of the things that I didn't do well when I was in their position was really just stop, take a deep breath, and really enjoy my teammates and enjoy the day-to-day and enjoy the locker room. So that's something that I've always tried to really stress those guys. Just take a look around, take a deep breath. You know, I know it's week 12, and I know you're sore, and I know that, you know, your body is telling you, man, I can't wait for this to be over with. But you never get these times back, and these are really special times. There's nothing better than being a part of a team. You know, when you got a whole bunch of guys that are moving in one direction, really for the last time in life are you really possibly ever going to have that. This is one of those few times. And so just to enjoy that aspect of being a part of a team, being a part of a brotherhood, a bunch of guys that are trying to get the same thing done. And that's really neat, and just making sure we emphasize that.
You mentioned simplifying the scheme a little bit. Obviously, at some point, Boston College realized that you guys are keeping things easy, but they're not able to stop it. So can you use that going forward? Can you still?
I hope so. You know, I mean, there's two parts to that. Is for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've really tried to do that. You know, moving forward, we've got to continue to kind of, even though we want to stay simple, we've got to try to window dress and hide and make things that are the same look different. You know, going into a game like this, you know, that's really important for both teams. You know, it wasn't one of those deals where we're running the same play over and over and over and over and over again. And they can't stop it. I'm not, you know, challenging Boston College's manhood by any means. That's a tough group and a really good, well-coached, good football team. But I think for us, it's just going to be moving forward. It's going to be trying to find the same way to run those schemes and package them in different ways so they look different.
How big was it what your skill guys did? I mean, Tamorrion had the big play.
Yeah.
Nooney had a really nice catch. Cam was Cam.
Yeah.
Moving forward, you know, the rest of this season into next season, I mean, they really stepped up after the Notre Dame game where they had some drops.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's what we said going into last week was, you know, I expect those guys to go back out there and have their best day, and that's what they did. You know, I think really one of the most critical plays of the game was that the 3rd and 3 where we ended up having to push that ball to the post based off what they did. And in a third medium situation where we got to convert, you know, Nooney made a huge contested catch. You know, I think that's one of the more overlooked plays that game. That was a huge play, you know, because then we end up scoring, you know, 2 plays later or 3 plays later. But that was a huge play. And that's what those guys do, man. I mean, everybody's going to have a bad day. You know, everybody has bad days. You know, everybody out here watching this right now has had a bad day before where they weren't their best, you know, and so that's going to happen. But we got a resilient group, and those kids always rally back and find a way.
Coach Taggart talked about kind of staying up during the losing streak and then to kind of rally and be rewarded with that win, that he thought it spoke to kind of maybe a little more buy-in into the culture he's trying to build here. Do you kind of get that impression?
Yeah, I've said it a bunch of times, man. Coach Tag is as good as anybody with the kids that I've ever been around, you know, and I've been around a lot of places where you lose 2 or 3 games. You're going to lose those guys. And for us to have the season that we've had up to this point and Coach Tag to keep those guys together moving forward, I mean, that's just a testament to him.
How cool was it to see Keyshawn Helton do what you guys have talked so highly of him in practice, to see that translate over the field?
Huge, man, because if they're, you know, he's a guy that you root for. Even as a football coach, he's everything that's good about what we got going on, you know, and he's a great kid. The way he practices, the way he prepares, how he lives his life. I mean, that's, again, you know, Coach Tagg's mentioned a couple times about different guys here and there about what we want our kids to aspire to be like, and he's one of those guys. So proud of him, man. Got a great family, you know, great mom and dad, you know, just good people, man. And so just excited for him and his family.
What about Todd Grantham? Are they pretty attacking on defense?
Oh, yeah. Yes, they are. They will. They get after you, man. So we got a challenge.
You're out of here, Coach. I'm sorry.
Hey, you stole.